Have you ever looked at the person you love and quietly wondered if they're really the one? Maybe you've been trying so hard to make things work, but deep down, you feel something isn't right. Love is supposed to lift you up, not break you down. It's supposed to bring you peace, not keep you awake at night. But here's the truth. Sometimes we can be so blinded by our feelings that we ignore the warning signs. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 signs that you might be loving the wrong person, so you can stop settling for less and start choosing the love you truly deserve. Sign number 1, you always feel insecure. In a healthy relationship, love is supposed to feel like home, a place where you can rest, feel safe, and know that your heart is protected. But when you're with the wrong person, that sense of safety disappears. Instead, you live with constant anxiety, always questioning where you stand. Maybe you catch yourself checking your phone every few minutes, waiting for a text that never comes. Maybe you feel a knot in your stomach when they don't reply right away, imagining all the worst possibilities. You start wondering if you said something wrong, if you're not attractive enough, or if they've lost interest. And here's the dangerous part. You begin to change your behavior just to keep their attention. You hold back your feelings so you don't scare them away. You agree with things you don't believe in just to avoid conflict. You overthink every little thing you do, because deep down, you're afraid they'll walk away if you're truly yourself. The truth is, love should never make you feel like you're auditioning for a role you already got. You deserve to be with someone who makes you feel secure without you having to fight for it every day. When you're with the right person, you don't spend nights wondering if they still care. You go to bed knowing you're loved. So if your relationship feels more like a test you're constantly trying to pass, rather than a partnership you can trust, that's a sign you may be loving the wrong person. Sign number 2, you have to change yourself just to please them. Real love celebrates who you are. It doesn't require you to shrink yourself, silence your voice, or pretend to be someone else just to keep another person happy. But when you're with the wrong person, you slowly start losing pieces of yourself without even realizing it. At first, it might seem harmless. You stop mentioning the music you love because they make fun of it. You skip your favorite hobbies because they think they're a waste of time. You even change the way you dress, the way you speak, or the way you express your opinions, all to avoid their criticism or disapproval. Over time, this becomes exhausting. You're no longer living as your true self. You're performing a version of yourself that you think they'll like. And the scariest part? You start forgetting who you really are. Love isn't about constant compromise at the expense of your identity. Yes, every relationship requires effort and understanding, but you should never have to erase your own colors to fit into someone else's picture. The right person will love you for your quirks, your passions, your flaws, everything that makes you you. Ask yourself this: if you have to hide your dreams, your beliefs, or your personality just to be accepted, are they really in love with you? Or are they in love with the version of you they've created in their mind? The person who truly loves you will never ask you to trade authenticity for approval. They will encourage you to be more of yourself, not less. And if you can't be your true self around them, then you're not in a relationship, you're in a performance. Sign number 3, you're always the one texting or calling first. In a healthy relationship, love is a two-way street. Effort flows from both sides. There's a natural rhythm of giving and receiving, reaching out and being reached for. But when you're with the wrong person, you might notice that you're always the one keeping the connection alive. You're the one sending the first good morning text. You're the one asking how their day was. You're the one suggesting plans, following up, and making sure you still spend time together. If you stopped initiating, the silence would be deafening. At first, you might tell yourself that's just how they are. Maybe they're busy. But the truth is, no one is too busy for the person they truly care about. Even in the busiest days, the right person will find a moment to check in, to let you know they're thinking about you. When you're the only one putting in the effort, the relationship starts to feel heavy, like you're carrying it on your back while the other person just walks alongside. And here's the painful reality. Someone who truly values you will want to be present in your life, not just respond when it's convenient. Love should feel like a partnership, not a project you're working on alone. If you're the only one reaching out, ask yourself, Are they really invested in you? Or are they just comfortable with the attention you give them? The right person won't make you feel like a constant chaser. They'll meet you halfway because they want to, not because they have to. And when that happens, you'll feel the difference, you'll feel wanted, not just tolerated. Sign number 4, they don't support you when you're struggling. The true test of love isn't when everything is perfect, it's when life gets messy. Anyone can stay by your side when the sun is shining, but the right person will hold your hand when the storm hits. When you're with the wrong person, you start to notice their absence in your hardest moments. Maybe you're going through stress at work, dealing with family problems, or facing a personal loss, and instead of showing care, they become distant. They change the subject when you open up. They make you feel like your problems are an inconvenience or worse, like you're too emotional for bringing them up. And that's when the loneliness hits you hardest, not when you're physically alone, but when you're lying next to someone who's supposed to be your partner, yet you feel completely unseen. The right person will not have all the answers, but they will stand beside you through it all. They will listen, they will comfort you, they will remind you that you're not facing this alone. Support doesn't always mean fixing the problem. Sometimes it's simply being present, saying, "I'm here for you," and meaning it. If you find yourself hiding your struggles because you know they won't care, that's not love. Love is showing up for each other, especially in the dark moments. And if they can't stand with you when life gets tough, they don't deserve to stand with you when everything's easy. Sign number 5, you no longer feel happy. Love is meant to add joy to your life, not drain it. While no relationship is perfect, the overall feeling should be one of comfort, peace, and shared happiness. But when you're with the wrong person, you may start to notice that your smiles feel forced and your laughter doesn't come as easily as it used to. You might find yourself reminiscing about how happy you were at the beginning, wondering where that person and that version of you went. The truth is, in unhealthy relationships, the joy slowly fades. It's replaced by stress, emotional exhaustion, and a quiet sadness that lingers even when you're together. Sometimes you convince yourself that this is just what love feels like after a while, that all relationships lose their spark, but deep down, you know it's more than that. You feel lonely even in their presence. You feel more relieved than sad when they cancel plans. You feel like you're surviving the relationship, not enjoying it. The right love will still have challenges, but it will never make you question whether your happiness matters. It will lift you up, make your life brighter, and remind you why you chose each other in the first place. If being with them feels heavier than being without them, it's a clear sign you might be loving the wrong person. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go, not because you stopped loving them, but because you finally started loving yourself more. If you recognized yourself in at least 3 of these signs, it's time to pause and reflect on your relationship. Not with anger, not with blame, but with honesty. Because the truth is, staying with the wrong person doesn't just cost you time, it costs you pieces of yourself. You deserve a love that makes you feel safe, valued, and alive. A love that celebrates who you are instead of making you doubt it. And that kind of love begins when you decide to stop settling for less than you deserve. So take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this the love I want for the rest of my life? If the answer is no, you have the power to choose differently. Have you ever been in a relationship where you realized you were loving the wrong person? Share your story in the comments. You never know who might need to hear it today. And if you're on a journey to heal, grow, and rise above the love that once held you back, subscribe to auraRise. Because here we're not just talking about love, we're learning how to choose it wisely.